It's now Democratic Congressman from the great state of Pennsylvania, Representative Chaka Fattah, here to describe his proposed budget solution, along with Pat, John Howman, and Mark McKinnon still with us from Washington. Congressman, it's great to have you with us this morning.
Well, it's great to be here, and it's not way too early, but it's early, and I'm happy to be here.
I'll get you on way too early.
All right.
One of the few people who might be willing to come on at 5:30 in the morning. Let's talk about your Debt-Free America Act. What's the bottom line? What do you plan to do?
The bottom line is America should not be the world's greatest debtor nation. We have the wealthiest economy in the world. We can pay our bills. We got over $900 trillion moving around in our economy. There's no reason why we should have a $1 trillion+ deficit. And I was there when we balanced the budget under President Clinton. The President, Republican Congress, I voted for it. We cut some programs, we raised some taxes, we balanced the budget. This is not rocket science. We can do it. It's math. And my proposal is a simple one. Let's take a small fee on every transaction that happens in our country and apply it in a national fund to pay off our debt. We're going to be paying $1 trillion in interest alone in less than 10 years on the debt. Let's get out of debt. Let's get out of debt now. That's the plan, a small fee. You go to any economics course, basic tax policy course, they'll tell you this. The broader the base, the lower the rate. That's what your tax policy should be.
So what do you mean? I go to Home Depot this afternoon to buy a chainsaw to do something at the Willie's house or something. And I buy the chainsaw, you take a small fee out of that transaction?
1% or less out of every transaction. For people 250 and under, they can have a 1% rebate on their tax filing so that they essentially are exempted. Any transactions in and out of personal accounts would not be subject to the fee. But transactions that intersect with a business account, take a small fee. Take a 0.5%, take 1%. Let's get out of debt.
Pat Buchanan?
You're talking about a 1% sales tax on all retail sales and all stock transactions. Say 1%, let's use that as an example.
Right.
Huh? How much money would that raise in a single year?
If you took all transactions, you'd raise $9 trillion
in 1 year?
A single year. However,
the whole economy is
my legislation suggests that we exempt the financial markets. That this is not a let's go after the financial markets deal. That because you could do those transactions offshore, I'm suggesting in my legislation that we exempt them. That what we go after is the more normal business that goes on in the country on an everyday basis.
How about housing?
We're not interested in the purpose of the transaction. It doesn't have to be a sale. If it's a check that goes to a federally regulated bank, we take a small fee and we get out of debt. That we believe enough in America being #1 that we not walk around acting as we have to have people from all over the world be our bankers.
But I think the important thing you have to add here, Congressman, right, is that in addition, this is a big national sales tax you're talking about, but you're also talking about eliminating the federal income tax, and that's the only way this makes sense.
My legislation is a carrot and a stick deal.
You're going to eliminate the income tax?
And let's get out of the personal income tax business. All of our economic competitors use a consumption tax. Some use a VAT.
But you know, Congressman, that's considered, the sales tax is considered a regressive tax because poor people pay a higher percentage. You get rid of the 35% income tax I'm paying, I mean, I'm with you all the way, but I don't think you're going to get the average guy going along with that.
Get the pitchforks. Come with me, Pat. We can do this, all right? Here's the deal.
They'll put the pitchfork in me.
Look, what I'm suggesting is that we got a tax system that doesn't meet our country's needs. It doesn't generate the revenue. It's too intrusive. We spend hundreds of billions of dollars trying to comply with it. We should get out of debt. And we should pay our bills in a way in which the rest of our economic competitors do. China uses a consumption tax. The Europeans use a consumption tax. Why? Because the broadest base possible is the transactions that take place in an economy.
Mark McKinnon, you want to get rid of the federal income tax with Pat?
Well, here's what I like about the Congressman's idea. At No Labels, we've been saying that everything should be on the table and everybody at the table, and we need fresh, bold ideas, and this is a very fresh and it's a bold idea. So I like it, and you know, and I also like the very Republican idea of lowering the rate and broadening the base. It's not exactly the approach that some Republicans might consider, but I do think it's a good. I think it's great that he's putting something bold on the table, because these are the kind of ideas that we need to debate right now. So, Congressman, what kind of support are you getting from any Republicans out there?
Well, I wrote a big, long dissertation in the Harvard Journal on Legislation.